Good morning, everyone. I apologize for the light theme, but everyone in the canteen will definitely be thanking me for it. Anyway, so I'm here to tell you how to be a bit more comfortable in your terminal. I've spent hours customizing Linux. I've been forced to use Vim for a computer architecture course in second year, so I had to come to grasp with some of the configuration that comes with that. But I also had a curiosity to tinker. On the university computers, you don't really have much leeway. You don't have sudo access. Pretty much all you can do is install binaries from your precompiled binaries. So even trying to install Gradle was just having to install a precompiled binary and add it to the path. So I'll show you how you can install nice configurations for your terminal. And it's a bit better than trying to do things with Linux directly. I know Cameron showed us i3, but IT does not really want to have us installing Linux on our computers. So we start off with Bash. This is what you would open up with if you open up WSL for the first time. It's pretty boring. It's just got a brief prompt there telling you who you are and where you are, and it serves its purpose, but it's not really very interesting. So one of the first things that I installed was Starship. So Starship lets you create a better terminal prompt, or at least a more interesting one. It has some cool features, such as if I go into my Rust example, you'll see you have Git information. It even shows you what version of Rust you're running. So there's a lot of configuration that goes into this, and it's just a TOML document, so you can just edit things on the fly. You can see here, there's my time at the bottom. I can just add a couple of A's in there and it will immediately update. So pretty quick to configure. You can just copy configs down from wherever there are predefined themes. You'll even find that if you just go directly to the website, there are presets, and you can pretty much do whatever you like with it. And of course, installation is just a shell script. So a lot of times it's, I don't think it's a shell script in this one. It's fine. Anyway, so I've shown you Starship, but now I'm going to say, what if you don't use Starship? So you can actually use ZSH, which is a shell alternative to Bash, which is very cool. This one I did use in honors year, and it was very interesting because at the end of my Bash script, I had to tell it, hey, please load ZSH for me, because like you couldn't actually change shell because you didn't have sudo access. So this one is very cool. This is sort of the default theme that it comes with. It has some plugins that you can use, and I mean, hey, that's pretty nice to use. So you can see here I have ZSH auto suggestions in there, which you might have noticed while I was typing the commands was already showing me some of my predefined commands. So if I type V, you can see there's my previous Vim command, and I can just hit up arrow and go through all my previous Vim commands. So I found that one is very useful to use. I will show you that there is some other things you can use. So on my main account, it has the Powerline 10K theme. So this one also has some very similar things. It gives you the time, gives you information, and I mean, it also gives you running time on, if you have had something running for a while, then it'll show you how long it has been running. So that sort of has some pretty cool things, but you might notice this was a different terminal because it's now no longer flashbanging you. This one is Alacrity. This one is also written in Rust. Sorry, all you Rust fans, you're getting a lot of things happening here. So you can see here configuration, and again, this updates pretty quickly. So if I just read only file, I already have this open in my other screen. So it's sort of complaining that I'm trying to edit it twice. So I can just update the font size and you guys can see what is happening, sometimes a bit too big. So it also updates very quickly, which seems to be sort of a common theme with Rust. So this one is cross-platform. You can use it on Linux, you can use it on Windows. As you can see, I'm in fact using it on Windows. So that is very cool. So now that we have an idea of our terminal and we have an idea of like some configurations to make that look nice, we shall step onto NeoVim. So I have been showing you things with regular Vim so far, but some of the people would like to have a bit more customization at their hand. So NeoVim, I had to also try and figure out because, like, trying to do university, there's a lot of Vim that I had to use. Second year, we were told that we had to use Vim and like basically required to do it. So I ended up discovering Tmux. Tmux is very cool. One of the things that it has is that you can have language servers. So you can see I just type PR and then I have like all of the options of different functions that I could, in theory, use if I knew how they worked, which I don't because I don't program in Rust. I just use Rust as an example. As you can see on the left, I have a file explorer. So I can just open any document and it opens up in a buffer on the top. And it also has nice a floating terminal. So for instance, I can just do cargo run in here and we'll print out inside a terminal, which is basically just a terminal running inside of your terminal that you use to open up NeoVim. So it doesn't go too many layers deep. You can try it, good luck, but it's probably not really going to work out. And just so that you know, I'm not a complete heretic. I can use the dark mode, but they told me that I had to use a bit of a lighter theme or no one can see anything. So now that we have an idea of some things you can do here, I'll show you some of the things I had to use for SSHing. So when you SSH into a server, you don't really want your internet connection to go down and bring down your entire terminal session. Because if you're busy coding something and suddenly your Wi-Fi goes down because it's COVID and for some reason your home Wi-Fi is worse than BBD's Wi-Fi, then you should use something like Screen. So if you use Screen, it opens up what looks like just a regular terminal. So the cool things with these programs is that if you do Control A and D, then I detach from it, and you can see I can reattach with everything still in place. Screen is on pretty much every single Linux computer, but Screen is not where we stop. So Tmux is terminal multiplexer, which lets you create different panes side by side. You can do whatever you want with them. And I mean, you can just arrange your work the way you want, and you can also detach and reattach as you please. And that pretty much lets you just work as efficiently as possible if you just only have access to the terminal. But again, Rust fans, I'm sorry, I don't know how this keeps happening, but there's also ZLJ, which is written in Rust, which looks absolutely terrible in light theme, but you can see that it is at least here. So if you scroll out quickly before I show this, so then you can see that, okay. I'll just detach again. I just want to make it a bit smaller. You can see it gives you some hints at the bottom, so you can like actually have an idea of what the functions are instead of having to memorize all the functions that Tmux has access to. And if you have memorized the Tmux functions, they still work. So everything is good to go. So with that at hand, what do we know? Well, we know that there is a lot of customization that can be done. It takes a bit of time. In fact, it takes a lot of time. Most of it was spent procrastinating during tutorials, procrastinating doing my honors talks, doing my honors practical. I mean, I use this, but is it practical? I mean, in the end, it taught me a lot about Linux. And you're probably thinking, it takes quite a bit. What can I do? So there is a nice little program called Hollywood. This one makes you look like a hacker. And I mean, who doesn't want to look like a hacker? Okay, if you're being investigated by FBI, you probably don't. But you can show your parents. You can hide your work from your boss. And the best of all, it's very easy to install. You see here, I just searched all my app packages. There we go. I have Hollywood installed, and you can just start like that. Make your terminal a little bit cooler, and perhaps someone will come by you and say, hey, how can I do something that looks that cool? Thank you very much.